Good afternoon, Roxbury. How are we doing? I feel fired up, ready to go. Fired up. Fired up. So this is a kind of a homecoming for me because I was actually born and raised right here in Morris County, a few miles away from here. And in my adult life, you know, the last few weeks we've been protesting in Hoboken and in Jersey City, and you kind of get isolated. You don't realize that there are other people who feel the same way. So when I got here, I parked on Route 46 on the side of the road, and I saw all these people walking down the hill, and I was like, wow. You know, like this is not just contained to one part of New Jersey. People are outraged across the state of New Jersey, and that matters. And what's happening in Roxbury, the township of Roxbury, it is an assault not just to the residents of Roxbury, but to every person who loves America and the values that we espouse. Everybody is a resident of Roxbury in this context. We are all for you. When I just got elected mayor, I'm currently an assemblyman for the 32nd district, but I served as mayor of Hoboken for 8 years. The first thing we did was we signed an ordinance, or an executive order that's now an ordinance, to say that in Hoboken, we're a fair and welcoming city. That doesn't matter who you are, who you love, where you come from, what your religion is, what your national origin is, what your race is, what your immigration status is. In the United States of America, in this case I was talking about Hoboken, but in the United States of America, we have equal rights under the law. Full stop, period. How come the federal government doesn't understand that? My message to Secretary Noem is this: we the people will not tolerate injustice and oppression in the United States of America. This is our country. That flag up there, that stands for us. That means that we are all free and that we all have equal rights under the law. And as Kathy O'Leary said, she was talking about our neighbors. That reminded me of my faith and the founder of my faith, which is Sikhism. The founder of my faith said, "I see no stranger." And what that means, what that kind of means is that in our belief system, I think it applies to this country, that we don't see each other as strangers. We are all one human family. We all have the same feelings. We have mothers and sisters and brothers and cousins and neighbors. We have emotions. We have the same aspirations. We want health care. We want education. We want prosperity. We should not see any strangers among us because we're all one family. And that's the reason I've come from Hoboken to Roxbury today, to send that message that I see no stranger. Roxbury, Hoboken, any part of this state, we are all one. So what we're trying to do in the legislature is send a very strong and clear message that we will fight back and we will use every means, whether it's legislation, litigation, or taking to the streets, to send a message that this cannot stand. There was a speaker, Katie knows about it, Jake Efros. He's a councilman in Jersey City, and he actually taped in Jersey City and Hoboken an ICE agent saying that he doesn't need a judicial warrant to just pick somebody up off the street. Well, there's something called probable cause that doesn't let you do that. You can't racially profile people because they're black and brown, but that's what happened in Hoboken, and that type of person would end up in Roxbury, in a facility, a processing facility, which is not a processing facility. Kathy talked about it. These are prison camps. These are concentration camps that they're trying to make in the United States of America. And you should read about Hannah Arendt. Jake talked about this. Hannah Arendt talked about something during Nazi Germany with Eichmann. When Eichmann was caught after World War II, he was acting like everything was normal. And it's a book called The Banality of Evil. We cannot normalize what is happening. We cannot say that, we cannot accept the banality of evil. What you are seeing in America, what you're seeing across the country is pure evil, and we have to say, this is not normal. This is not American. So we're trying to introduce legislation. We introduced a bill that would make sure that any private detention center is taxed, gross receipts are taxed at 50%, and all those funds are going to be, we have somebody in a distress situation here. Can we have emergency personnel take care of her?
Yeah,
please.
We need medical personnel up here in the front. Officers, Roxbury.
I want to thank her for her being here and being present in the moment. Just to wrap up, yes, we did introduce a bill after what happened in Jersey City called Fighting, now I got to look at my thing, Fighting Unlawful Conduct and Keeping Individuals and Communities Safe and Empowered. And you know what that means? It means fuck ICE, all right? And we had some Republican assembly members saying, this is not becoming. I was like, listen, these are not normal times. And what Assemblywoman Brennan and I are doing is taking the feeling that we see on the streets to the halls of Trenton. So we need your support to make sure that this legislation reaches the governor's desk. And when it applies to Roxbury, we need to look at what Maryland is doing. Just on Thursday, 2 days ago, they passed two bills. One bill that would prevent immigration detention facilities like the one that we're seeing here in Roxbury from happening in Maryland. One that would directly connect the water and sewer strains of these types of facilities and the infrastructure, and to prohibit any uses from a land use standpoint from being allowed in Maryland where they would strain or impact other communities. So this type of thing is being legislated and prohibited in the halls of Maryland, signed by the governor. We need those kinds of bills that are happening in Maryland on the governor's desk. We need that like yesterday. And lastly, I'll end with this. The Attorney General also filed a lawsuit in Maryland to fight the detention facilities that are going on in Maryland right now. No reason why we can't have our AG follow that lead and protect the community in Roxbury. So I want you to know, as Hoboken's and Jersey City's Assembly member, that we are for you. We are going to work with our colleagues across the aisle. This is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. This is an American issue. All right? This is about all of us and all of us being in it together. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.